Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode number 7 of Creakycast. Tidy. Tidy indeed. And look what we've got tonight. This man here, who's staring blankly into space because he doesn't realise he's now on screen because of the delay. Good evening, Mr. Conspiracy Catz. How are you, pal?
Yeah, not so bad. I've just seen me come on screen now. That's yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah. That's a good start, wasn't it?
I was going to say, I know if it goes on, maybe it can get boring, but it's not meant to be boring right at the beginning. Not before you've even said hello to everyone, anyway.
Well, I thought if I start like that, low key, then there's only one way it can go, and that's better.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? That's it. I don't want to peak too soon.
No. The only way is up. Right, so we have 115 people. Let me just very quickly say, because I will forget to say this is nothing to do with anything we're going to talk about, but for anybody that's a channel member or a Patreon, if you can connect your Discord account to your YouTube account, then if and when you become a Patreon or a channel member, you'll automatically get access to the new VIP chat room, which is for members and Patreons only. So now that we've got that out of the way, I will start to explore my extensive research on Mr. Conspiracy / Baldy Catz. Because according to my research, which was done over multiple tabs, I will have everyone know, Conspiracy Catz started in July 2018. And Baldy Catz closely followed in November 2018. So your channel is barely older than mine then. I think I set mine up in August 2018, but then didn't really do too much with it for the first sort of 4 or 5 weeks. So did you sort of hit the ground running, or?
Yeah, I think we are similar time, aren't we? I hit the ground running with the help of Nathan Oakley, because for some reason at the time, when I put out my first video, I was actually on speaking terms with Anthony Riley, Sleeping Warrior, and he gave me a load of shout-outs on Nathan Oakley's show. And within the first week, I'd hit something like 200 subscribers, and they were all flat earthers. I think they thought I was I was a flat earther or something. Yeah. So they give me a bit of a boost, which really helped to start with. But mate, you're flying now, aren't you? Nearly 20,000.
I passed 19,000 yesterday, and it's taken me 2 weeks to go from 18 to 19. Not that I'm watching my stats at all, obviously. I just happened to notice. But yeah, I'm very, very pleased with the way things are growing at the moment. But like I say, I attribute a big amount of my growth to doing collaborations with your good self and Simon Dan and Fight the Flat Earth, and you know, it's most certainly helped. And some people would have you believe that if I hadn't done collaborations, I wouldn't have grown at all. But I take offense at that, because Dan got me from 9,500 to 13,000, but from 13 to 19 has been me and what I've done, I hope.
Oh, mate, the quality, I mean, I've said to you this in the past privately, haven't I, when we've not been on air, but the quality of your production, and I think, you know, Fight the Flat Earth has really gone next level with his production as well, but yeah, the two of you, the way you produce your videos, how slick you are, it's you know, really, really good stuff. So, mate, you deserve it, you know, you deserve everything.
Do you know, I think a big part of it with me is it's like anything else in life. If you enjoy it and you've got an interest in it, I think you tend to put in that little bit more thought and effort. You know, if you enjoy your job, it doesn't feel like a job, that kind of idea.
Yeah.
You know, and I you know, hopefully it does show in what I put out, because as you know, keeping up with two uploads a week, even though they're only 10 to 15 minute videos, is, you know, they're not, as you know, thrown together in 10 minutes flat.
No, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. You know, I mean, I'm really irregular these days in my uploading because of that, really. You know, once I've done a video, I can't stand the sight of my keyboard anymore. It's just like, I want a week off, you know. And
it does take a lot of work. So, Conspiracy Catz. Baldy Catz, I would say, is fairly self-explanatory because it followed Conspiracy Catz. But where did the channel name come from? Why are you Conspiracy Catz?
You know, I've been asked for it's the most underwhelming answer. Just I want everyone to prepare themselves for the most disappointing answer to that question. I was actually on a school trip when we were at Alton Towers, and I was sat on the coach with my phone, and we were just pulling up to Alton Towers, and I was setting up the account on my phone. I thought I'll upload a video to this tomorrow, and I'll set the account up. And then we just pulled up, and I had to get off to register some kids. And I was at the point where I thought, well, I'm just going to come up with a name, and I'll change it later. And literally, Conspiracy Catz was the first thing that bobbed in my head, and I thought, oh, that's crap, but I'll put it in now and change it later. And I never changed it. Yeah. So that's it.
So what is the cats part then? Are you a crazy cat guy or?
I've no idea. Like, it just
came to you.
Yeah. I've literally no idea where it comes from.
Well, sometimes the greatest things come from the strangest beginnings, don't they? So.
Plucked from the ether. It's worked out well, though. It's worked out well, but yeah.
So what got you from kind of the ideas phase to that day sitting on a couch creating the channel, and why did you decide that, you know, Conspiracy Catz needed to throw his hat in the ring?
Well, I've just seen Ivan in the chat say, "What's Catz drinking?" It's Diet Lemonade. But right, so sorry, what was your question? I thought I could do two things at once. So I thought I could multitask, and I forgot your question in 10 seconds.
I'll just clear this up for you now. You are male, so concentrate on one thing and one thing only. I can't even walk and rub my hands together at the same time without stumbling. So yeah, one thing at a time is unfortunately all the male members of society can manage, I think. The question was kind of, what got you from having the idea to sitting on the couch that day, setting up your channel? Why did you think that Conspiracy Catz needed to throw his hat in the ring with regards to producing the videos we do?
Right. Well, I'd had another, excuse me, I'd had another channel at that point where I put educational resources on, and all the kids at the school I was working at the time, I made them all subscribe to it so I could set them homeworks on it and stuff like that. Yeah. And a lot of the parents had subscribed to it, and I got an interest in the area when I got Anthony Riley to sit that GCSE paper for me. But after hearing all the crap that he could, sorry, but like I won't swear again. But after hearing all the nonsense that he come up with, I thought I really want to respond to that. But the channel I had at the time, it wasn't the right place because kids were subscribed to it, parents were subscribed to it. So I thought I need to do something separate that's detached from that I can put this stuff on. So that's why I started it, really.
So you already had a YouTube channel, you had something to say, and it just wasn't the appropriate place then, basically.
Yeah, I've taken it down now because I've left that school, but it was called GCSE and A-level Science. It was literally just where I set homework for kids. Yeah. And I had about 800 subscribers, but they were all kids from the school.
Yeah. So why did you decide to set Baldy Catz up so quickly after? Is that sort of linked in as well, or? Yeah,
it is, but it's more like, you know, when you start something, you kind of find your feet as you go along and you learn as you go along. And
yeah,
what I'd learned was, as I was making the Conspiracy Catz videos, sometimes, like when I started off, I put quite a lot of science in. You know, the first few videos I was explaining electrolysis or circular motion or this, that, and the other. But actually, I just liked reading the daft comments and laughing every now and then at daft video. So I thought, well, if I can have another channel, Baldy Catz, and I can do the more serious science stuff on that, then on Conspiracy Catz, if I don't end up doing any science and I just have a laugh at some comments or whatever, it won't matter, and then people can choose which one. And that was the original idea when I started, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether it was necessary now, looking back.
Yeah, I know. I did exactly the same thing when I did those couple of Onision videos, and I set up a second channel, and I'm at the point I was like, why did I even bother doing that? Because I did have an idea. Rather than let it just sit there, should this podcast, interview show, whatever you want to call it, could this move over to the second channel, you know, and could that channel, because it hasn't got a name really, because of the subscriber count, I haven't been able to pick a custom URL or anything. So could that channel be, you know, Creakycast, and I could just do this solely on that channel? But then I've only got 1,200 subscribers over there, so, you know, I suppose I can post it in the community tab on this channel and direct people over there. But, you know, do enough people enjoy this format to sort of subscribe to a channel that's solely dedicated to it. I'm not sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, I had the same issue with sort of Baldy Catz. It was a very slow growing channel. I think it's on about just over 19,000 now, but it was very, very slow growing. But what I've found is, especially with the last couple of videos I've done on Kent Hovind and Evolution, I'm now getting, I reckon about 20% of the subscribers that are on there now don't even know Conspiracy Catz exists. You know, I'm getting a lot of comments. You know, so it's almost like it is going to become its own very separate thing.
Yeah.
You know, rather than well, it still will be a sister channel on it, but yeah, I think it is inevitably going to become its own very separate thing, and I'm not going to be relying on dragging people over from Conspiracy Catz, you know, to its thing.
Yeah, because that's kind of the idea I had when I set up the second channel. I did it specifically to put those Onision videos on because they're so far removed from what people actually subscribe to me for, and I always try to keep that in mind whenever I'm picking a topic to make a video about. Is it relevant to my channel overall? But I will say, and I know this was highlighted by Team Skeptic's video this week just gone now, about the Dobre brothers challenging Cody Ko to a fight, and people are watching it, and I've had a look through the comments and people seem to be enjoying it, and we've all got sort of a very similar hardcore subscriber base of them, you know. I would imagine a very high percentage of people that are subscribed to me are also subscribed to you and Dan and Craig and the others, you know. So maybe there is a little bit of room, a little bit of wiggle room on our channels, more than I sort of realised. As long as I'm still looking at silly things and dealing with them in the same silly way, then, you know, does that imply that I can make anything work on my channel? I don't know.
Yeah, I've thought that, because there are things I'd like to do video, but it seems that I feel that whenever I do anything slightly different, it doesn't work. I did one on Brexit, and it wasn't even political. I didn't even express a political view of my own. It was just on politics. I think it was when we had the election for the new leader of the Tory party.
Yeah.
And it went down like a lead balloon, you know. Yeah. Those who watched it, I think, quite, but the amount of people that just wouldn't even click on it. You know, I had people messaging saying I'm unsubscribing because it's not the kind of content I'm into, etc.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but that to me, that seems a little bit overly critical. You know, if there's a program that comes on Sky TV tonight, you don't cancel your subscription because you didn't enjoy it, and you're paying for that. Do you know what I mean? Oh no, the Coronation Street was useless tonight. I'm cancelling Sky. It's that sort of logic to me. Very quickly, thank you to Sigrid F for becoming a channel member. Welcome, mate. And if you weren't here, link your YouTube to your Discord if you're a member of Discord, and there's a VIP chat room on there just for channel members and Patreons. So carrying on with the same theme. So if the opportunity popped up tonight and your subscriber said, make anything, Catz, we'll watch anything you do, what else? Is there anything in particular outside of what you already cover that interests you enough that you'd want to make videos about it?
Yeah, two things. One of them I have got a separate channel for, and that is never going to merge with I've got an educational channel where I'm trying to put, it's called Catz Science and Maths, for anyone who's not aware of it. And I'm trying to cover the entire sort of like GCSE curriculum for kids here, and I really want to build that. See that as being my proper future on YouTube. But to do stuff in like the Conspiracy Catz way, I would love to have a go at the kind of like SJW culture. You know, I know my own rights kind of thing, you know, just people being a little bit over the top, snowflakey. I quite like to have a look at that. But you're treading on eggshells with videos like that, I think. Yeah,
I found. Welcome to the channel as well, Matthew Cundy. Thanks for becoming a member, mate. I've noticed now, I've never made my religious beliefs 100% clear, but people always assume as soon as I say anything negatively towards God or religion in general, people jump to the conclusion that I'm an atheist, but I don't consider myself that either. I don't consider myself to be anything. I just don't believe in God anymore. But the point I'm trying to make is, what I found is the videos that do elicit an angry response, maybe in some cases, are always the videos that have got some reference towards religion in them from any angle. As soon as you bring religion into a video, and I've done a few now, it does tend to, I wouldn't say it really upsets people to the point where they now hate me and they're going to bugger off, but they don't seem as open to laughing at that. But then again, I suppose if they believe, they don't want to laugh at it. And I know religion can't be compared to flat earth, but everybody's got different beliefs. And as I've said previously, my only issue with other people's beliefs, I don't care who believes in what. You can believe in the Easter Bunny, you can believe that the moon's made of cheese. I really don't care, as long as you're not trying to force that belief onto me. And I think that applies to religion more than most other beliefs, because we've all been approached by I can't really think of an example now, but we've all been walking around the town centre and had somebody come and put a religious leaflet in your hand, and we've all had Jehovah's Witnesses knocking the door, that kind of thing. So that's where my issue comes from it. But it always seems guaranteed to upset somebody if you bring it up in a video at all. And what this was a very long-winded way of saying is politics does exactly the same thing. And I've been asked loads of times to talk about politics, but I definitely will never talk about politics.
I totally agree. Like we both, when I did the Kent Hovind video, I didn't mention being atheist or not atheist. I didn't give any kind of stance of my own religious stance, but the amount of people in the comment section that made that assumption, that you're an atheist, and not only you're an atheist, but you are mocking Christians. That couldn't have been further. I was mocking Kent Hovind, and I was mocking his lack of understanding of evolution, and that's as far as it went. But with, I was going to say something else. It's gone again. What was the last thing you said? You said something to do with. Oh yeah, that's it. I've got it. It's
talking about politics. Sorry, very quickly. Seek Truth, Speak Truth is in the side chat. I want him to get in touch with me because I'd like you to come on for a chat. So email me, thecreakyblinder@gmail.com. I've been waiting for weeks for him to pop into the side chat so I could ask him.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, right. So, sorry, Catz, you carry on. So I said I'll never talk about politics because...
That's it. Well, the thing with politics as well is I know a lot of it's subjective, but I think I think that there are a lot of facts as well in politics that you should be aware of, and I just don't have the grounding in politics where I can make a video where my opinion is worth anything. It will be like a flat earther making a video on thermodynamics. Their opinion just isn't relevant, and I recognize that. So, when I made that one video, I poked a bit of fun at both candidates, and then I walked away without giving too much of an opinion. But I couldn't really get into that field because I'm just not educated enough in that area for my opinion to count for anything. Yeah,
and that's exactly the reason I don't talk about science topics too much in my videos. And everything I do ever talk about is very, very... You're a teacher, so it's probably, comprehensive school level. That's where my understanding is, and that's why I don't talk about it for exactly that reason. And that's why I find flat earthers so funny, because they all talk about it so confidently and with such conviction. You'd think that they had taught you everything you know about science in their mind.
Yeah, it is incredible, isn't it? It is exactly that.
It's nuts.
I mean, we talk about Dunning-Kruger, but they do genuinely, talk about it as if they understand what's going on, as if any sort of standing whatsoever.
Yeah, as if they are the highest authority on physics or anything else they care to talk about. And that's what I find so funny about Anthony Riley. I've never had any encounter with him. I've never spoken to him, said hello to him, and I've actually never even made a video about him. But forgetting about everything I've learned since doing this, speaking to him, he's very, very eloquent. He's obviously not that stupid, putting aside his belief in flat earth, if it even is a real belief. So I can see how somebody like him would be able to twist the arm of somebody who is maybe not at a sufficient level of education to understand those things for themselves, because he sounds so convincing when he speaks.
And I think that's a problem. A lot of the high-profile ones have got the big subscriber base because they do sound articulate and and convincing. And then we'll see it in our comments. People will comment to us and just quote word for word what these guys are saying.
Yeah.
And clearly, like, they are following these people, which is a shame. I was going to name some of them, but I won't. But yeah, I think they can do a bit of damage. Even if, like you say, is Anthony Riley really a flat earther, or is he just trolling?
Yeah, that's the thing. See, and I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but I really think a lot of these people, especially the more high profile ones like Anthony Riley and like Nathan Oakley, Nathan Thompson, Bob Nodell, I don't think any of them really believe the earth is flat. I think it's purely got to the point. It started off as a bit of a joke, and then it was, hang on a sec, I'm making $1,000 a month saying this. Damn, now I'm making $2,000 a month. I'll just keep saying this. What man or woman in their right mind wants to cut off their own source of income over something as trivial as the truth?
Exactly. Exactly. And there's a certain amount loving the attention as well, isn't there? That they get.
It's the notoriety, isn't it? And the sense of community, I would imagine. They've become a group of friends to all intents and purposes, and they probably enjoy what they do as much as we enjoy what we do. Yeah, but we're right and they're wrong. Yeah, exactly. Even me, as hard as that may be to believe. So, negative comments. I'm lucky. I don't really get too many. I had one on Friday's video, and it was basically somebody telling me that I was a knobhead, and if I'm so knowledgeable, I should go over to Nathan Oakley's daily live debate, and I don't even answer them, but I know you get quite a few negative comments because you make videos about your negative comments, which I unfortunately haven't been able to do for a while. So do you pay much attention to them, or do you take them with a grain of salt? Because that's how it seems.
I don't pay any attention to whatsoever. No, it's just words on a screen, isn't it? I don't pay any attention to it. And I think, at half time, I think people write that kind of stuff and then forget they've even written it. I don't think there's anything personal there. So no, unless if it's somebody I've spoken to and had proper personal interaction with on the internet, and then they post something, and I think, well, maybe they are genuinely a bit personally cheesed off for me, but no, I don't pay any attention to it at all. So in fact, I've got a folder on my computer where I've got thousands of them, and that's where I pull them off from for doing stuff. Yeah.
So when you pull up a negative comment, it's not necessarily from a current video. Then it could be from an older video, just from the vault.
Oh yeah, some of them will be months old, if not right from when I very first started. Yeah. And like sometimes, if it's relevant, if I've got one that week and it's stuck in my head and I'm making a video and I'll think, oh, I remember getting that comment, I'll put it in. But I just screenshot load, whack them in that folder, and then I just pull them out of there. So do you remember your first negative comment, or is there a comment in particular that really stood out to you as being a proper mean comment? I had someone saying they were going to stab me. That's probably the only one that stands out from the rest. So, of course, I put that in a song, which I called it Stab. That was the name of the song. So that's probably the one that sticks out. Yeah. Or sticks in if they had their way. Well, I did reply back to him and say, "Oh, I'll put your comment in a song, thanks," and he never replied. So no, that's the thing. See, with like you say, people that are creating these comments, I actually think how crap their life must be that they felt passionate enough to be able to write that sort of thing and
Are you following what I'm saying? What must their life be like if they're that consumed by what you said, that they've taken time out of their day to sit down and write that comment? Because they've clearly watched the whole video, so there's another 15, 20 minutes of their life they're never getting back.
Yeah, I think some people are. I think the ones that really, really, really try and justify what they're saying, that might write 2 or 3 paragraphs where they completely show they misunderstand thermodynamics or seismic waves or whatever, and they're ranting and raving. I think that they are quite, and it's those kind of people that I tend to give a little bit more of a wide berth to, because you can see by reading it how wound up they are. And the last thing I want to do is make somebody like really annoyed. But I think the people that just write, you're a bald of this, you're what, swear.
Yeah.
I just think they type it and they forget about it, and that's it. They're the ones I quite like to use.
So you get called Baldy as well, then, do you?
And I've no idea why,
I know, shocking.
this is by choice, I can actually grow it, right? But,
yeah, all right. No need to show off. This is my show. But yeah, I feel exactly the same way about it. I just try not to pay any attention to it. But every so often you do get that one, and it does sort of get under your skin a little bit. But I still resist the temptation to reply, because Simon Dan actually said to me, delete, block, and ignore it, and just forget about it, because otherwise it would, I suppose, if you get enough of them, it could potentially consume you, couldn't it? And really put a dampener on your day. Mark Swaby, or Swaby, if that's how you say your name, welcome to channel membership. Thank you very much. And a £5 super chat from Peter Nankaru. £5 for calling you yeah, okay, I'm not going to say that in the stream, but thank you for self-censoring. I've been called that a lot, but it's one of my blocked words, so comments like that don't get seen, because I've got an extensive folder of blocked words on my YouTube account. But anyway, so if YouTube stopped monetizing content across the board tonight, would you carry on making videos?
Great question. Yeah, because I think would I make them as often as I'm doing? Because I've thought about this myself, because I don't make videos that often. But when I do make them, because it takes so much time, it is nice to see the adverts on there and feel like I'm getting at least something for it. But I don't do it for the money, because I could go 5 or 6 weeks without putting a video out. Yeah. So yeah, I would still make them. Would I make them as often? I'd probably make them even less often, or take longer doing it. But yeah, no, I'd still do it. Definitely put the educational ones out anyway. Yeah.
But that's back to what you started with anyway, isn't it? So, because I've not had the opportunity to ask that question to everyone that's been on so far, but that's something that particularly interests me. Because whether it's right or wrong, money does make the world go round, and I know they say it's the root of all evil, but everybody likes to be, compensated for the time and effort they put in, don't they? And
yeah, I mean, if you're working hard enough to stick to a schedule, which I don't, I'm pretty awful, but if you're working hard enough to stick to a schedule, you're putting out 2 or 3 videos a week, especially with the quality of the editing and production you put in and stuff. I mean, I know you are looking at what, 20, 25 hours work there doing all that, and that
easily. That's just making the videos. That doesn't include answering comments or anything else,
Exactly. And if you're doing that, you can't do that and not be getting paid for it.
Yeah.
And I'll sit down a week, and if I feel like it, and I'll treat it as a hobby, and I'll do some. I'll treat it as like a break from all my tutoring and work.
Yeah.
So I'd probably still treat it, but yeah, to be doing that many hours a week, you definitely deserve to be.
The way obviously now my way of working has changed since I closed the sign shop last year, but I get up usually between 5 and 6 every 7 days a week, because I'm knocking on a bit. I just seem to wake up really early. It's old man problems. I probably spend the first at least hour of every morning literally just sat there drinking coffee, answering comments. So there's 7 hours a week. Then my videos average, I don't know, about between 14 and 16 hours each to produce. So call that 30. So there's near enough a full working week there. And, you know, every day of the week, apart from when I'm in the vape shop doing admin and ordering and all that kind of stuff, I come into this room after I've dropped my son to school at 9 o'clock, and I leave this room about 6 o'clock, Monday to Friday, and, I'm in and out on the weekend. I'm up here all Sunday evening, so I'm probably working easily 60 hours a week on this.
Wow, blimey.
Like I said, I'm completely open. I don't know if you're allowed to say, but I'm earning about $500 a month in ad revenue. So it's not much. What's that, about 370, 380 quid? So for anyone watching who thought I was a rich YouTuber, no. I'm still at the stage where I'm doing this. Yeah, it's nice to have a couple of quid, but it's the enjoyment of doing it. And the hope that it will become self-sustaining, because it certainly isn't now.
Well, that's it. It's one of those things that you've got to build it, but to build it takes all the legwork, like you're doing now, hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee, is there? There's no guarantee.
Absolutely not.
Especially with YouTube looking left and right in the way that so. Yeah,
exactly. YouTube is a very fickle beast. They could pull the plug on monetization tomorrow for anybody who's under 100,000 subscribers, we'll say, and that would financially ruin it for 95% of the creators that do what we do.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, the way I look at it on the financial side, I don't really talk about the financial side much, but I would, anything that I get from ad revenue, it sits in a bank account, and it's not. I don't ever want to get to the point where I see it as part of my income because I am so infrequent at making stuff.
Yeah.
So I try. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just try and ignore that side of it, and then hopefully if things build one day, great. But it's treacherous ground, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard to know what's the most appropriate way to treat it as well. I'll be honest, I'm trying to treat it like a business now, because that's kind of what it is, and that's sort of what I do anyway. And the hope is that it'll begin to pay off by behaving towards it as if it's a business. But like you say, you don't know which way things can go.
Well, it's really, really, and it's quite frightening in a way. How easily channels can go down, or anything. Terms and conditions can change. This is it FOPA? Is that how they pronounce it?
Copper.
Copper. That's it.
Yeah, the child's online. I don't know why there's 2 P's, but it's some parental protection agency or something along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, how that's going to affect channels, I've no idea. Absolutely no idea.
It's affecting if channels cater to kids, and kids in the UK is under 18, but in America, for some bizarre reason, it's under 13, which I never understood. I just don't get it. They've got very, very limited ads. They've got no access to the community tab or anything like that. All that's been stripped away from them. So there are some real negative implications to a channel that specifies it makes kids content.
Well, I was on a channel yesterday, and it must have specified it was for kids content, and the buttons where you'd normally save to put in your watch list or watch later, even they were phased out. You couldn't touch.
You've just reminded me. That's the other thing. You can't add it to watch later. That's another thing. Captain Nemo, welcome to the channel membership. If you are on Discord, link your Discord to your YouTube account, and you will be given access to the VIP chat room. And thank you for a €10 super chat from... Oh, why have people got such complicated names? Yarun. YAHRUN. That's what you'll always be to me. A little donation from the EU. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Anyway, another one of my favorite questions. Are there any conspiracy theories that you've ever believed in initially before discovering? Obviously, with Flat Earth, it's just ridiculous. So we know we know the Earth is a globe, don't we? But are there any conspiracy theories that have ever held any weight for you when you've had to actually look into it and demonstrate to yourself?
When I was a kid, like, so I don't know whether this is me believing in conspiracy theories or just kids being gullible, but when I was a kid, I used to swallow everything about Roswell and any kind of anything to do with aliens. I used to swallow that all the time and believe in that left, right, and center. I used to believe without question stuff like the JFK, for example. But I'm not like that now. I think that there are obviously, and you said it yourself, there are obviously conspiracies that will come out to be real, and there are things I don't understand about, events that have happened and stuff, so I've got loads of questions. I'm full of questions. Yeah. But I'm not automatically going to take the standpoint that I'm going to start off with something being a conspiracy. So
yeah. See, I think just the word conspiracy has lost a lot of its meaning because of conspiracy theories like Flat Earth. Because to conspire just means if you and I were planning behind everyone else's back to do something, we are conspiring to do that thing, aren't we?
Oh, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But it's lost a lot of its real meaning because of the word theory always being automatically assumed to follow the word conspiracy.
Well, yeah, flat Earth has done a real massive harm to the credibility of anybody that has questions about anything, because you apply that tag and people immediately think, oh, he's a nutter, because Flat Earth has become so prominent. Yeah, it's made them all look that way.
Yeah, and this is where I think David Icke does himself no favors, because I know that in his I'll say in his professional history as a conspiracy theorist, he has actually exposed some things as being what he said has turned out to be true. But the trouble is, when he then throws into the mix that the Queen is a lizard and that 5G can blow your brains out, he loses all his credibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's it. You just don't take seriously anything he says at all. I mean, I heard him give a speech. I was surfing YouTube, doing some high IQ research. That's all. And he was talking about smart speakers a couple of years ago and how it wouldn't be long before data's collected and people find out that they're having the homes listened to. And of course, that has actually transpired, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, and fair enough. But when the words were coming out his mouth, all I was thinking about was lizard people, and you think, you can't take him seriously because of that. It's like trying to see the wood for the trees sometimes.
Yeah, and whenever I see any content with David Icke in it, the first thing that always pops into my mind is people need to remember that this is the man who sat on the Terry Wogan show on national television and claimed he was the son of God.
Oh, he did. And he was not. Did you see the rematch when he went back on about 15 years later?
I've never seen it. That
is well worth watching because he comes on with a completely different demeanor. He's obviously annoyed about what happened 15 years ago, but he comes back on with a completely different demeanor. He's a bit more likable and confrontational. And I think a couple of moments he gets Terry Wogan reeling a little bit. It's well worth a watch.
Yeah, I've not seen that, and I really want to now, so I'm going to look that up later.
Yeah, it's a good one.
He destroys all his credibility about the things he has been proven right over when he throws those nutty things into the mix. So,
yeah,
it is what it is. If you could choose to switch lives with anybody just for the day, who would you choose and why?
You.
Yeah.
No, like, switch lives with anybody just for the day. Man, what a great question. It'd have to be anybody who's working on the ISS, because
Yeah.
I just love to, to see what it's like up there. Yeah.
Just to experience. So if the opportunity ever arose, would you go?
Yeah, I am. I'm not very good at flying, I'll be honest. I'm a bit, and it makes it's ridiculous and it's illogical, but I don't like flying.
I don't either. I can give you the cure for that. I'll do it off stream because it's how I fly every year, and I've got a very understanding GP.
All right, well, I'll pick your brain on that later.
Yeah, and it works. It absolutely works. The flight gets called, and I carry out the instructions of my doctor. I get on the plane, and before I blink my eyes, my wife is shaking me because we've landed in Spain or wherever we happen to be going. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
I'll definitely pick your brain on that one.
I'll tell you when we're off stream. So nobody in particular then, just somebody who was going to the ISS. There's no historical figure or anything like that.
So, you know what? This is one of those questions where in about 10 minutes time, or when we finish the stream, I'm going to think, why didn't I say that?
Yeah.
Why didn't I say that? For now, that's probably the best I can come up with. Other than that, like, if it's just for a day, if you're just going to swap lives with someone for a day, it'd have to be for the experience of what they do. So yeah, I'm going to stick with that for now.
Yeah, and that's, I've said in previous streams, somebody like Elon Musk or Bill Gates, somebody, because that everyone, money doesn't buy you happiness, and I know that's true, but I want to live that life just for 24 hours and see if everyone's right.
Yeah, I don't think it does buy happiness, but what it does is it gives you it opens up options.
Of course it does.
It gives you time. If you want to do something, you can do it. Yeah. The money's not a barrier, and that what you choose to do, obviously, is up to you and how you choose to do it, but it gives you options.
Yeah, exactly. We've got 312 people watching now, actually, which is the most I've ever had in any live stream ever. I'd like to think that everyone was here for my, for my skills as a live broadcaster, but I'm fairly sure that it's this handsome young devil next to me is the draw. So thank you to everyone who's here. And if it is your first time and you're not subscribed, subscribe now, please. Just do it now. What you do when you're not making videos, Mr. Conspiracy Catz?
Oh, what do I do? To be honest, up until recently, I've just been working really, really hard. I went self-employed last year, and I've been working in schools and tutoring sort of every hour God sends, which is why making the videos was the hobby. It was the break for me. But now I've managed to drop down, so I've got a lot more free time. So obviously, play a little bit of guitar. I like to, keep myself active and mobile, but I'm just, I don't know. At the minute, I'm just sort of enjoying having a bit of free time, so I need to pick up some more hobbies, I think.
Yeah, I think free time's a funny thing. Just sometimes having the ability to do nothing can be the thing that you will choose to do, because that's what I find, that, the little bit of free time I do get. Like today, I've done virtually nothing, and it's been awesome. Because I rarely get to do it, everyone's got such busy lives, and when you build what you're trying to do for a living into that as well, you really haven't got any time at all for yourself or, for the people around you sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes, when that is nice just to stop, and then, when you do, just to sort of take everything in and have that minute to relax, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's another thing. We're saying, like, money doesn't buy you happiness, but money would give you a lot more of that time, you know, choose to do other things with it, it's...
Yeah. Do I think all it is, when people say that, people, the saying is money doesn't buy you happiness, but people without money always think having money will make them happy. What I think it does for you is it takes away all the one of the biggest worries that any person has got, any average person, is financial worries. because you live to your means, so no matter how much you earn, you could always do with earning a bit more. And I think that's why people assume it makes you happier, is because you lose that worry about, you know, oh, I've just had a £800 gas bill come in. Have I got £800? You know, that sort of thing. But I suppose if you've got like 12 million quid in the bank, it's like, gas bills come in, it's paid anyway, you know. So it takes that element out, doesn't it? Yeah,
it certainly does. Takes away a lot of stress, gives you a lot more free time. It's definitely.
Yeah, it's a funny thing.
But no, I think you're right. A lot of people do sort of like live to the means, and I think I shifted my mortgage last year, so I don't need to earn as much as I was, which is why I can now have a bit more free time. And I think, you know, even though I've now cut down the amount of work I'm doing, I'm not earning as much, but my lifestyle haven't changed and my outgoings aren't as much. And, you know, and I do feel a lot happier, a lot less stressed out, you know, because I'm putting in a fraction of the hours. I've got more of that time now. So, you know,
I'm sure there's a statistic, and generally people's homes, I used to bloody remember this off the top of my head, but I'm sure the statistic was that where you live takes at least, I think it was 50% or 40% of your income. So if you earn £1,000 a month, 500 quid is just to put a roof over your head, and then the other 500 quid you've got to live on and pay all your other bills and everything. So, you know, it's a big burden on everybody who's got somewhere to live, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the weirdest thing a subscriber has ever done to you, for you, or asked you?
Oh, that's... Now, the weird... a lot have done some really nice stuff.
Yeah, I suppose I could add unexpected to that list as well. You know, it's not net. They haven't got to have turned up at your door in their boxer shorts in the rain at 3 o'clock in the morning. Nothing like that. You know, just something that's done and it's really taken you aback.
I think two things jump out. One, when Julian HG, I know you know him. He made your. But he made me the space comma that just sort of an email pinged one day. And then I noticed Gary Graham is in the chat. I don't know if he's still there. He's actually in the next Conspiracy Cats video, and I've been promising that since Christmas.
Oh, is he?
He made me some really nice glasses with like Conspiracy Cats engraved into it and Baldy Catz engraved into it. And he made me those for Christmas, and I'm that infrequent in making my videos that I've still not done the kind of like Christmas unboxing of them. But he's definitely in the next one.
Yeah, he's sent me glasses as well, and he actually made me, because he's got a 3D printer, and he made me plugs for my ears, but he made them way too big, so then he made them again, and they say tidy on them, but they're too rough for me to actually wear, so every so often I show them in live stream. I'm not going to do it now, because last time I got up from my chair, everyone laughed at my pajama trousers.
Oh, I've got pajama pants on. Do you want to see?
I haven't got any pants on, so I won't be standing up. No, I won't. No, yeah. So I'm not going to get up again, because everyone made fun of my. Oh no, I've got black joggers on tonight actually, so that would be acceptable. But anyway, back to your videos. What's your creative process like? How do you make a video?
Oh, hey, what a good question, because I wouldn't mind asking you the same. What is it like? Right. I've spent a lot of time going through videos and streams from people and cutting up them just saying random stuff and then having that in a big library on my computer. So I have that library open, and then I'll find a video that maybe I want to debunk, and I'll watch through it, and I'll cut out the bits that I think are the main parts of that video. And then I will sit down and I'll think about how I could introduce it, and I'll write a script. And then, so I'll have the script and then the video clip that I'm going to have, the script and then the video clip that I'm going to have. And then once that's all done, so I've got the main framework, I'll try and make each little bit funnier or each little bit better. So I'll look at the intro and go, okay, that intro is a little bit boring. Can I bring ranty in to say something stupid before that next clip? And then I'll insert those little clips in between. So I never really plan out what someone's going to say. I just use what I happen to have, and I'll drop those little clips in between. Sometimes if something's boring, I think, oh, I'll put a song there or something. But mainly, so I'll chop up the main video, and then I'll do 2 or 3 runs and on the script and try and improve it each time.
Yeah. So
what about you? How do you do
it? My way of doing it is odd, to say the least, because so you import all your target video clips, then you record all your clips, and then you import them. Yeah. Am I following the way you do it? When
you say the target video clips, you mean like the video we're debunking, or?
Yeah.
But that'll I put that in first, and I'll script everything.
Yeah.
But I'll film at the end, because even when I'm filming, I'll change what I'm going to say. But yeah, I get that in first.
Yeah.
Then I get the little clips in. Then I film my own bit.
I got it, because what I do, so I will find a video, and on YouTube I'll watch the first, usually about 2 minutes, and I can usually get an idea from then whether or not it's going to be something I can work with, and 9 times out of 10 it goes my way. So I dump that whole video into my editing software, and then I will record my intro, and then, welcome to another episode of Playing a Blinder, blah de blah blah, and then I'll say, and today we're going to be looking at a Barnabas Nagy video, so let's see what Barney's got to say. And that's where I start watching the video. Then I literally let it play for a bit, and I think, oh, I know what I want to say there. Click the button to cut the video, move the rest of it to the right, and I then will record my reaction to what Barney just said and edit it all together. Then I bring his video back, carry on playing, and repeat, copy and paste all the way through. So I edit as I go. So, for example, if I fell off my chair and broke my arm and couldn't carry on editing that video, I would have a completely edited video right up to the point I fell off my chair, so I could then export and upload. So I don't complete a whole video and then go back over the edit. Once I say, thanks everyone for watching, hit the subscribe button, blah, 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 bye-bye, I literally hit save, and then I hit the export button, and that's how I do it. So I've edited and recorded simultaneously all the way through, because what I wanted to try and do is make them as reactionary as I can, so make the reactions as real as possible. So it's not every single time, but 9 times out of 10, the reaction you see me have into something that's been said in a video, that's the first time I've heard them say that, because I never watch a whole video all the way through, ever. So it's just a weird way of doing it, but
I like it though, like going through and if you're doing it like that and you're editing, as you are going along.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I've done my video, I kind of rush the editing process because I'm knackered, I've finished everything. But I suppose if you're not going to have that if you're doing it as you go along.
Yeah,
I like
exactly. That. And that's why my videos take probably between sort of 40. I can get one done in 10 hours if I really go for gold, but that's why they take so long, because I'm doing everything all at the same time, finding the music I want to use in the background. If I do something and think, I know what'd be funny there, if I used a fart noise, I'll then jump on, find a fart noise, dump it in, and put it into the video there. I never had anything on at the end. So that's just the way it works for me. And I've got my everything set up so that system of doing it works well. So my camera, I don't have to unplug and plug back in. It's connected as a webcam. I record everything through OBS so that it automatically appears in my camera roll on the PC. So all I have to do is click record in OBS, then click stop, and then drag my clip in to the editing software. So it's there in seconds. There's no long-winded process. I'm not uploading a load of clips at the same time and all that nonsense.
Yeah, no, obviously, however you're doing it works really well because your videos look, really.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's just I've always done it that way, so that's just the way I do it, and it works. So I won't change it unless it gets to the point where I find a quicker way of doing it.
Yeah.
So there we go. Who would you most like to collaborate with? And you haven't necessarily got to pick anyone from our space. You know, is there a YouTuber and you watch their videos and you think, I'd love to collaborate with them one day?
I think, what's the Action Lab? I think are really good, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, I'd love to do something with Action Lab. The slow-mo guys, I really like watching them.
Oh, yeah, I like their channel as well. I haven't watched any of their stuff for a good while, actually.
Have you seen, what's that channel called where, is it Perfect? There's a group of guys and they just do loads and loads of trick shots with ping pong balls or balloons or whatever. And so, because someone in the chat might know what I'm talking about. They're really famous.
Perfect.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
They are like one of the benchmark channels. You know, when you come across people who talk about how to grow on YouTube and how to be successful, they always use Dude Perfect as one of the sort of do what these people are doing because look how successful they are. You know, when it gives you sort of something to shoot for then, doesn't it?
Yeah. And they are very good. I often wonder how many times, you know, how many shots they've got to do on some of the tapes.
Yeah. There's actually videos about that on YouTube, and some of the trick shots they do literally. There's one where they throw a basketball, I think it's from the top of the Grand Canyon, into a hoop that's been set up on the floor of the canyon, and there was like 800 or 900 attempts before they got it.
Blimey.
So yeah, it's really interesting to watch, like a behind the scenes of what they do, because obviously in their final cut videos, it just looks like he threw the ball from the top of the Grand Canyon, and it went in, but sadly not. The illusion was shattered by a YouTube video. So, while we're on the subject of videos, and in particular our style of videos, do you think the content we make is actually helping anybody in the long run? And I know you are probably the exception to this rule, because Seek Truth, Speak Truth is somebody who no longer believes that the earth is flat. So, you know, how instrumental were you in that?
You know what, I think, I don't think I was instrumental in that. I think that Seek Truth, Speak Truth have been getting lots of messages from lots of people over a long period of time, and I think he'd been digesting all of those. I think maybe the video I did might have been one of the last straws that broke the camel's back. Yeah. But I think I think he'd just taken on board what lots of people have said, and he'd taken time to reevaluate stuff. So I don't really think I had a big role with that at all, actually. Although the timing of it might have looked like it did, you know. So the timing might have been in my favor, but I think he just evaluated it himself. Yeah. But do we think the videos do good? I've had emails, and I know other creators have had emails from people who aren't flat earthers anymore, or who've had friends that were going to be flat earthers, but then they've watched the videos in the community and now they're not, you know. So I think they do. I think for a lot of people, it's becoming an entertainment, isn't it? The whole area is becoming an entertainment. You know, but I think that. And
the other side of that questioning is there are some people that seem to be of the opinion that we are doing more harm than good because we're actually shining a spotlight on the flat earth belief. What do you think of that sort of view on what we do?
I can understand that. I can absolutely understand that opinion, that, you know, we keep it relevant in YouTube because we provide that entertainment. We keep people in talking about it. I can understand that. I certainly wouldn't think that what we do turns anybody into a flat earther. You know, if anything, you know, it's gonna go the other way. But I do understand why people say that. You know, I suppose if you are watching some of our videos, what's going to be coming up in your suggested feeds are going to be the flat videos, and will that in turn help those channels? I understand the opinion, but no, I think as on the whole, we do more good than harm, definitely.
Yeah, because I would imagine that if, for example, a person is watching a video about the belief in flat Earth, there's a very high likelihood that one of our videos could be one of the suggested videos. So then I suppose my thought anyway is at least then they get the opportunity to look at the other side of the argument, and hopefully they'd have the sort of the mindset that they will take both sides and, as you say, evaluate what they've just watched and make an informed choice from there. Although I'm sure some don't, and they just blindly believe things, because I know some people do, sadly.
No, I think you're right, but it's a good point that you bring about like our videos being the videos that go in their suggested feeds, especially because a lot of the Flat Earth channels are quite small, or the number of views they get are very, very small compared to the number of subscribers. So I think that our videos are being pressed on Flat Earthers more than, you know, Flat Earth videos in our feeds are being pressed on other people, I think.
Yeah.
You know, I think we're pushed out there certainly more.
Yeah.
You know, rightly so, you know.
Yeah, exactly, because I know a lot of Flat Earthers now are moving their content to BitChute, aren't they? And they're all bitching and complaining that YouTube is censoring them. And, well, YouTube isn't censoring them. YouTube is just saying that they will not promote harmful content. And, you know, they actually specified Flat Earth videos as one of those types of content. So YouTube as a business sees it as harmful content. Now, I don't know, you know, going forward where that would leave the likes of us, you know, how would they view our content? But I would like to think that if a human being looked at what you do and then looked at one of Nathan Oakley's videos, they could instantly see that you are the counter argument to his nonsense.
Well, I think if the review was done by humans, I think a lot of it is algorithm based. When I look when I look at the Conspiracy Catz channel, any video I put out has that little banner underneath, you know, warning Flat Earth is a daft idea, that kind of banner. And I don't get that on the Baldy Catz channel. It's like Baldy Catz hasn't kind of put its head up high enough for YouTube to recognize it. Yeah. And when you look at the views that Baldy Catz gets, even though it's only half the size of Conspiracy Catz, I think 3 out of my last 5 videos have hit over 100,000. Yeah. Whereas I can't even think of ever having. Mate, I've had one video over 100,000 on Conspiracy Catz.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think they do. I think they are clamping down, especially on Conspiracy Catz.
Yeah. But it's funny because a very high percentage of my videos have got the banner ad underneath for Flat Earth. And if you click on it, it takes you to a Flat Earth website. So either YouTube has got a peculiar sense of humor, or they're being a little bit hypocritical, maybe. I don't know.
So is that banner, does it not does it actually take to a website advertising Flat Earth?
Yeah.
My word, yeah. No, that's unbelievably hypocritical.
So what that says to me then is, are they bundling us in with just Flat Earth videos?
Yeah, and I'd love to know what they use. Do they use the tags for that? Do they use just the metadata from what people say? But I suppose,
I think it's a combination of the tags, the title, how people behave in the comment section. You know, can they pick anything out of the comment section that would imply it's promoting Flat Earth? I don't know. It's all guesswork, isn't it, when it comes to the algorithm? I don't think the people that write the algorithm actually know how the algorithm works, and they write it. So, you know, I think it's a very confusing system.
I agree with that. I don't think anybody, I mean, even the so-called experts, you know, the Daryl Eves of the YouTube world who, or like even they're guessing half time.
Exactly. Nobody know if there genuinely was a way to find out exactly what the YouTube algorithm wants from us as creators, all our channels would have millions of views and millions of subscribers, because we'd all do it. So all these people claiming to know that this is what you have to do, and if you do it this way it works, if you do it that way it doesn't, it's their best guess and basing it on things that they've tried and had success with, but that doesn't always translate to other styles of content on other channels, sadly.
Yeah, no.
Has anyone ever recognized you when you've been out and about from your YouTube channel?
Well, the kids at school obviously know about it, so so I can say yes. But once in a subway, not in a subway shop, and it was pretty underwhelming. Somebody said, oh, were you that Baldy Catz? And I said, yeah. And he went, all right, and just walked off. So
Oh, is it?
that was it. Like, oh,
that sounds to me as if you'd have been better off if he'd not recognised you.
I thought, yeah, I'd rather you'd not have said anything, you know.
Yeah, it's like you didn't stop pulling your pen out to give him your autograph. That would have made it even more cringeworthy. That would be just my luck, that would. So somebody will say, well, oh, you the creaky blinder? Oh, yeah, I am, yeah. Well, you're a knobhead. I'm a flat earther.
Maybe he was. Maybe he was. It was very strange. Like,
yeah. But there's a lot of strange people about, mate. What can I say?
Oh, love it. What about yourself?
No, I haven't. Not once, thank God. not even once. And I'd like to keep it that way for as long as possible. Because I think it's, I don't know how similar or different you are in real life to the way you are on camera, but I think sometimes people expect you to be a certain way, and if you're not that way, then they feel as if they've been sold short, and so maybe sometimes you're better off not meeting anyone.
You're right. I mean, everybody has parts of the day where they're busy, they want to be left alone.
Exactly.
They're just quiet and tired, you know what I mean? And it's going to be as you imagine them, are they? But
no, exactly. Let me just very quickly look at these again. Super chat from Andrew Stroll, $5. I can't think of one movie star or brand that I like everything they've done. Keep up the good work, both of you. Thank you, mate. Christopher Shapley, DVM CVA, my favorite American veterinarian, $5. Cheers to two of my favorite content providers. Another super chat, £5 from Peter Nancaro. Being young, I was always stupid. Then again, I'm 46 and still stupid. Well, I'm 47 and I'm still stupid as well. So you've not got the monopoly on that. £2 off UKPI, first super chat ever. Buy yourself a cider. I don't like cider. I'll buy something else out of it. And thank you to Zach Perkins for becoming a channel member. If you are on Discord, link your Discord to your YouTube channel, and then you get access to a VIP chat room. Thank you very much. So, do you ever watch your own videos back? Have you ever sat down one day and thought, right, I'll watch one of my videos from 6 months ago? Have you ever sort of done that, or?
No, the only time I've done that is when I think I hit 20,000 subs last March, and I wanted to do like a review since I started, so I had to download a lot of the early ones and watch them, and it can just make me cringe a little bit. And I'm never really, I don't watch my videos back because I'd never. Maybe it's because I know what's coming, but I never really like them. They irritate me. So like, no wonder they irritate the flat earthers, because I can't stand.
I think a lot of us are like that. Though it's kind of, when you watch yourself back or listen to yourself back, you're like, God, is that what I sound like? And it's just a bit weird, isn't it?
It is, and I'll say something and I'll think, well, that's not funny, that's just irritating, or whatever. But no, I'll leave well alone once.
Because when I make videos, I've got this sort of rule: is when I watch it back, if it doesn't make me snigger, then I don't think it's funny enough to be uploaded to YouTube. But I always laugh at myself, so I don't know what that makes me, but
well, I'll laugh when I'm making
weird.
it. So like, if I'm making a silly song, or I put a clipping of somebody saying something, or like I did Flat Earth Millionaire pretending a spirit level was a mobile phone. And when I was putting that in,
what do you mean? Yeah, because that's the thing. Like you say, when you upload a video and somebody watches it, you already know what's coming and what's in there, and you can remember making it. But to the person watching it, it's all new, and it's the first time they've been exposed to it. So, but that's kind of my rule. And
it turned out to be rubbish. And I've got it unlisted, and I did post it in a community link. So if anyone wants to watch the worst Conspiracy Cats video you'll ever see, go into the community tab of Conspiracy Cats, and it's linked in there, but it's unlisted.
So, the people you've made videos about, have any of them, while you've been making the video or as a result of an interaction in the comment section or anything, ever really, really wound you up and made you lose your cool?
No, I'm just trying to think. Not really. because I said when I make a video, because it takes so long, I just switch off afterwards. I'll watch the comments come in, and I'll heart as many comments as I can in the first day. But after the first 24 hours has passed, I just kind of let it die, like, and then I'll give myself a week's break, and I'll start. And I know that's not really professional, but because I'm that busy and I do it for, and it's kind of like a hobby. Like when I'm back in work, I don't even think about it. It's just So no, I'll make the video, and then even if people make responses and stuff, half the time I miss it.
Yeah. So. I know that I do a similar thing. First 24 hours after a video goes up, I make sure every comment gets a heart. Everyone that is that justifies a reply gets a reply. But then after that sort of first 24 hours is gone, the comments are still coming in, but by then I'm already thinking about what I'm doing next, and I'm planning that out. So it's getting more. Your channel is twice the size of mine, so it's getting more difficult to manage at 19,000 subscribers. So I would imagine at 40,000 subscribers, because you're just under 40k on Conspiracy Cats, aren't you?
Yeah, I think 38.5 nearly now. Yeah.
So I would imagine that it just sort of double the subscribers, double the. I know it's not necessarily double the comments, but you know what I mean. The more you get, the harder it gets to keep up.
I definitely get a couple, 2,000 to 3,000 comments on each video now. And I remember when I first started, and I really wanted to reply to every single. I really valued every comment that
same as me.
The fact that somebody would watch and even think about commenting was great.
Yeah.
And I really tried. But if I release a video and then leave it for 20 minutes, there's no point me even trying to reply to every single comment, because I've given myself two hours work there. It's so it's a shame, really.
Yeah, that's the thing, and I've got a TubeBuddy account, so I have got sort of bot replies that I can just select, but I do use them sometimes. But then I think, what if they read a little bit further down now and they see exactly the same reply? That makes me look as if I don't care enough to reply. And then, if somebody just leaves a comment and says, brilliant video, do I just reply thanks, or thanks mate, or thanks pal, or do I put a bit more thought into it? So comments are a weird thing, and I always feel a little bit... I know you're not obliged to reply, but I kind of feel that I should be replying still. Yeah,
I feel that, and I think that's where the being able to heart a comment really helps, because at least you know that the person knows it's been read and appreciated.
Yeah, exactly. At least they know that. So you, at the very least, you're acknowledging. Yes, I know you've commented, because you have to sit there and physically click that button, don't you, for that to happen? So at least, like you say, they know you've read it. But some of my comments, when I open them up on my phone, it's like bloody chapter and verse. I don't know where these people are getting these comments from. If some of my subscribers have got like a special comments folder on their phone, but it must take them bloody ages to type them out. I don't understand it. But there we are. It is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, really long comments. How the hell?
And I hate reading. So if I'll be honest with it. If anybody wants to ensure that I read your comment, just make it a sentence.
Yeah.
Don't even make it 2 sentences.
I tell you, he's really bad for that. Now, I like the guy, so if he's watching, like, I'm not, but Gleam. I don't know if you're familiar with Gleam.
No.
Gleam, I don't even think he's a flat earther, but he does like to argue from that viewpoint. I like the guy. I've got a lot of time for him. But he can post, 1,500 word essays in your comment section. I think there's no way I'm getting through that. No way, But he's pretty good at that.
Yeah. So I was saying just now about has anything ever made you angry? How did you manage to keep your cool with Kent Hovend?
You know what? I really enjoyed that. I really, really enjoyed that debate. And I know Marvel Girls in the chat. I've seen name cut. And 82, I think I've seen him as well. They did such a brilliant job. And so thanks to them, for hosting it and producing it. That all I had to do was rock up and talk. And I just really enjoyed it. You know, when he was saying dumb stuff, because I'm not really that invested in anti-creationism or anti I just could enjoy the chat. So I just thought it was funny. I enjoyed it.
Because you're having a rematch as well, aren't you?
21st of Feb, and we're going to have it on isochron dating and ERVs. So we'll see what he comes to the table with.
Will he be prepared for that, though? That's what I want to know.
He will not be prepared for that.
Because what I took from it, and I watched the whole thing, and, you know, as you just said, well done to Marvel Girl and Rob Legier for putting that on, because it was a brilliant thing to watch. But he just... every single, from my perspective as a viewer, every single thing you asked him, and you were very specific, he didn't answer any of it. He just went around the houses.
Yeah, and like Nathan Thompson's like that as well, and you've got to hold the feet to the fire. I mean, with Kent, you know, I'm no bloody I'm no like Professor Dave or anything like that. I'm just a high school teacher. That's all. I don't have like this kind of advanced PhD level knowledge. So all the arguments that I was bringing to the table were basic stuff that you learn when you're 16 to 18-year-old. And like, fair enough, loads of us forget that when we leave school. But if he's going to argue that evolution is not science, it should be pulled from the curriculum, he should at least be able to articulate what that school level type of science is. You know what I mean? It was amazing that he just couldn't do it.
Exactly. And this is going back to what I said earlier on about why I don't talk about science, because I haven't got a good enough understanding. The way Kent Hovind was in the debate on Marvel Girls channel, if that would be the equivalent of me suddenly saying in one of my videos, Simon Dan knows nothing about physics, it's me, I'm the expert, it would be completely ridiculous. But yet Kent is happy to put himself... because he's got a big following as well, isn't he?
Oh, massive, yeah. Absolutely enormous. He's really well known, isn't he? You know, I think, you know, I was grateful for the opportunity to show the people that did follow him that he actually has no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah. But will they see that, or are they just blinded by the great Kent Hovind?
I think... obviously, I got a lot of comments. When you go onto his channel where he mirrored the video, you know, 90% of the comments on there are, "Oh, you destroyed cats, well done," blah blah blah. You know, but there were some that show frustration with him. You know, and there were some that were like, "Come on, Kent, for God's sake, like, will you stop making these ridiculous mistakes time in time out? You know, you actually learn what you're supposed to be talking about," and that was nice to see. You know, his subs.
But it's just an echo chamber, isn't it? It's exactly the same as Flat Earth, no different at all.
No, absolutely, yeah. It's people that don't have an understanding of what the science is, and then they seem surprised that they see not misconception. What's the word? They see contradictions in what they see around them. Yeah. Compared to the misunderstanding of science, you know, and.
Yeah, it's just insanity to me. A couple more super chats have come in. £5 from the Casual Spaceman. New conspiracy cats doesn't have human feet, only webbed lizard feet. It must be true because I said so, and I caught a glimpse the other day. Honest, #tidy. So that's the Casual Spaceman's new conspiracy theory about you cats.
And he's right as well. I'll have fuel for that. I do have webbed feet. Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Swimmer.
That's fairly common, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I've got fins as well. Yeah. So
as long as you haven't got gills, I think you should be able to get away with it. Another £5 off Caleb Dark. Given that God is infinite, space is infinite, and we live in a 4-dimensional... What the hell does that say? Euclidean universe? Euclidean? Is that a word?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Quavers or what's it? Is the punchline of that question. I love comments like that. $2 Australian off John Rapp. Good day, 2 fed dinkum blokes from the penis colony. Oh no, penal colony. Perhaps I need new glasses. And $5 from Roy Fraser. Roswell really happened. Otherwise, why does the US government still chime in? What are your thoughts on aliens, Cats?
Well, I think they... And obviously, sorry, my personal opinion, but I think they have to exist. They absolutely 100% have to exist.
So do I.
The question is, how close are they, and how advanced are they? And have they had enough time to develop the technology where they can reach us? Because that's some incredible technology, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. It's incomprehensible to us, isn't it? Because we can't even, if they are, I think the same as you. There's definitely other intelligent life forms somewhere. Have they been to the UK? The Earth. So thank you to UKPI. £2 super chat. I was trying to remember to say that. And then, have they been to the UK? I hope not. Have they been to Earth? No. I would go out on a limb and say no. I really don't think they have. Because, as I've said previously, why hasn't anybody caught them? Everyone and their nan has got a super high quality camera in their arse pocket 24/7. Where are all the high resolution photos of aliens? The high resolution photos of Sasquatch and anything else that's claimed to be real, but the only proof is like your webcam was before we went live, grainy and pixelated. There's never any high quality photos.
I'd love to believe they I mean, I don't know, I'd love to believe they have, though. I really would. But one thing's for sure, I think if they have, and I was in charge of the national security, the last place I would put anything to do with aliens would be Area 51, because that's obviously where everybody believes they are. If they are somewhere, they are absolutely not in Area 51. They will be, because if I know, I'm sitting in a house in Blackburn, and if I know Area 51 exists, across the internet,
it used to be referred to as a secret military base, isn't it? Except a big part of the secret was that everyone knew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the secret place that we all know about, and we can all drive to the outskirts from. So brilliant.
I don't know. It's a strange thing. Right, side chat. If anybody's got any questions they particularly want to ask Mr. Catz, if you could tag Catz and myself in the side chat, we will address some of your questions. So very quickly, while we're waiting for that to happen, you said earlier on that your pupils know about your YouTube channel. If you come across anyone and it comes into the conversation that you are a YouTuber and they say, what do you do? How do you explain it to them? Because I don't like being asked that question. I just always feel a bit weird trying to explain it, because most people don't even know that you can potentially earn a living from YouTube. So how do you sort of deal with that question?
Good question. To be honest, I feel a bit awkward about it as well, because it's if you just said the truth, if you said, well, I argue with people who believe the Earth is flat on the internet, that sounds a bit crazy.
Yeah, it does.
So I try and put it as like, I try and make videos that combat anti-science. So I'll make silly, light-hearted videos that pokes out people's misunderstandings of science. I'll leave it at that, really.
Yeah. So and again, because of your strength in understanding of scientific topics, you can just say, I make anti-pseudoscience content, or I make science-based content. I can't claim that, so I always just try to dodge that question, because I do come across people and I make videos on you, and when they ask me, I always say, I make anti-flat Earth videos, and they never seem to hear the word anti. And they always just, you think the Earth is flat? No, I don't think the Earth. And then it's a long-winded bloody explanation, which gets really uncomfortable, and you can see them sort of rolling their eyes. And it's like, that's not even a real job. It's like, no, you're right, it's not a real job. Not yet, but I'm hoping it will become one.
No, you're right. But to the stranger who's never seen any of the videos in the community, to try and articulate what it's like, it's hard work, isn't it?
It is, because like you say, to somebody who's never encountered any of this before from either side, it would probably sound like the most bizarre thing they've ever heard in their life.
Yeah. Grown men in the 40s making videos, laughing about that.
Arguing with strangers, making fun of people. It's awesome. I love it. $2 super chat from John Rapp. Sorry, John, missed this space comma. Honor the guest. And Captain Gothhog, is it? Or Gothnog? $5 US. If aliens have watched any of the pseudoscience on YouTube, they've probably quarantined the solar system. Oh, dear me. Right then, I'm sure I just saw a question come in for Mr. Catz. Effie around the world is asking, when will Ranty be moved back to the #1 spot?
Oh,
does that mean anything to you? Because it doesn't mean anything to me.
Oh yeah, he was a #1 globe hero, but Quantum Eraser took his throne in a video not so long ago. So Ranty will have it back. I'm very sure Ranty will have it back next time he gets his camera out.
Yeah, it's P1000.
He loves that thing.
And I correct in remembering that you are now the proud owner of a P1000?
I'm now the proud owner of a P900.
Oh, P900.
Yeah, I couldn't really justify spending all the money on a P1000 when the P900 had come down in price so much. So, so I got a P900.
And see, whilst a lot of people believe that the P1000 is the root of the problem, clearly it's not, because you've got said camera and you haven't turned into a raving idiot, so well, we can't blame the camera any longer.
I think I was a raving idiot before, I think.
Yeah, and I still am, so. Blue Marble Science, do we think that Flat Earth is beginning to decline? Heard anything new from the ? It seems to be the same old stuff recycled over and over.
Yeah.
Pat?
I think you just hit the nail on the head. It is the same old things recycled over and over. And I keep hearing that, on these Flat Earth live streams, people showing frustration, whether it's a Discord or looking at a live stream, Flat Earth is saying, we're not any further on, we've not moved on. And of course, we all know they're not going to move on because there is nothing to move on to. But I can definitely see there's a frustration. And some people who I'd have chats with in comment sections 12 months ago don't seem anywhere near as passionate now, and they're saying to me, well, I'm a bit bored of it all now, really. I'm doing things, and but you see, there's always going to be somebody new who's being sucked in, people who are just hearing the argument for the first time now, who are being sucked in, I suppose. So who knows how long it'll last. Yeah, exactly. Something that's old news to us is brand new to some people, isn't it? Yeah, that's it. And that's the worrying part about it. UKPI wants to know, Kat, how would you deal with a run-in with Dell? If you came face to face with him, what would you do? I think it depends, because when you see him out on the street on his own videos, he looks like he can have a proper conversation at some points. Yeah. So if he was willing to actually have a proper chat, then I would sit and I would have a discussion with him. But I don't think I'd give him much time, to be honest. I think I think he's past the point where he can have a discussion. I think it's more about point scoring and the game of tying people up in verbal knots, really. Yeah, because he's sort of suffers badly from angry man syndrome as well, from what I can tell. He seems to lose his shit at the drop of a bloody hat. Yeah, I'm not sure how much of that is a character that he but like certainly online, there's no discussing anything with him online. You just, unless you go in to his hangout and just agree with everything he says, you're gonna get the boot. There's no discussing anything. He's not got that in him online. Yeah, and that's a shame, because if you can't have a reasonable conversation with somebody, you've lost before you start, haven't you? You can't win an argument with somebody who's screaming in your face. Well, that's it. I mean, I was in a hangout, in the chat stream, watching a hangout with some flat earthers just over the weekend, and some of them were saying in there that they used to watch Dell, on his channel, and they just don't now, because, they're almost like they were ashamed of him. He just wasn't helping. So I think he's got his own reasons for doing what he does. Good for him. Irish Stew says, could Conspiracy Catz? Could you ask Conspiracy Catz to thank Baldy Catz for watching his videos? Oh, I tell you, he can play. If you're not familiar with Irish Stew, and you're into music and guitar, get over there. He can definitely play. There's a good question from the Casual Spaceman for you. What's your greatest wish as a teacher, or would it be or what would be the best thing that you'd like to achieve as a teacher? What a good question. You know what? When I first started, it was all about I had a job to do. I had to get these kids through. They all had to pass, and they all needed to get an A or a B. And I'd forever be analysing the results and thinking, how did my class do compared to this class? And it was all about, what results could I get out of them? But now I'm kind of like towards the end of that career, and I'm leaving. It's more about, it's more about the whole thing. Are they not so much of the understanding and absorbing the content, but are they developing like at least an interest in science and being able to evaluate things for themselves? Are they all right as a human being? Are they holistically in a good place rather than just about being data and stats?
Yeah. I just saw another super chat. 750 ISK. I'm sorry, I'm ignorant and don't know what currency that is, but being willfully mostly bald, it warms my heart to see my two favorite bald YouTubers together live. Go Baldy, guys.
Yes.
If anybody stumbled across this channel that isn't subscribed to me or you, they think this was a Right Said Fred reunion.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh,
dear me. Or if they were perverted, we look like a pair of boobs with teeth.
I can see it shining off my head.
Yeah, I know. I get glare as well. The unsung hero. At some point, FE is going to be non-relevant if it ever was. What then will we both do? What other types of lunatic videos could we find to point at?
Oh God! Well, we were talking about this before, weren't we? What other kind of topics we make? And I think I said the whole anti-SJW thing interests me, but really the new educational channel that I've got, I really see as my long-term future on YouTube. I'll always make videos where I laugh at stuff and do the conspiracy cats type stuff, but I think that the educational stuff is where I'm going to consider that my main sort of channel within the next 10 to 12 months, I think.
Right, sorry, mate. I got massively distracted then. Anyway, Saucy London wants to ask you, why is it colder around the poles than the equator? And why won't globe debunkers use this more to bash FE around the head with?
Why is it colder?
Yeah.
Well, it's all to do with the intensity of the sunlight. So basically, if you were to shine because if you were to shine a light onto a ball, you'd see that specular highlight. You'd see where the light is landing more intense. But the way that the Earth is kind of like tilted towards the sun, it's the light is spread out thinner, if you like. It's less intense over the poles. So that's why it's colder. Why do we not use that to slam flat Earth? I mean, there's so many things that slam flat Earth, and they just don't listen. We could talk about the celestial poles. We could talk about, all sorts. Boats going over the horizon. We could talk about seismic waves, or we could add the temperature at the poles, and they're not going to listen to any of it.
Yeah, they don't. That's the thing, because remember I mentioned earlier on that Flat Earth Aussie Jesus was in the side chat on Wednesday. His idea of acceptable evidence or proof, whatever you want to call it, he would accept a boat going over the horizon being filmed as long as there was a second cameraman filming it from the side. So filming it at 90 degrees so he could see it disappearing and going over a curve from a side view. But all that illustrates is how little understanding he has of this, just the sheer size of Earth.
So he wants it to be filmed going over the horizon, but then a boat at the side of that filming it going over
filming it so you can see it going over the curve as well as disappearing.
Oh.
It's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's
Well, he's got a fundamental misunderstanding of. I saw him post a comment when I was on with the Shills a couple of nights. It was last night, and he said that how can we have tides twice a day if we've only got one moon? And he's obviously at school learned that the tides pull on the water somehow, and the moon pulls on the water somehow, and that's how we get the tides. And then the rest of it he's just invented in his head, that it should be impossible that we have two bulges, etc. When really it's a lot more complicated than that. And it's the Dunning-Kruger that we were talking about before. He's got a misunderstanding of what causes something. And then when his observations don't match with his misunderstanding, he thinks that the Earth can't be a globe. He needs to get himself brushed up a little bit, I think, on the topics he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a question somebody just asked, and it was a really good question directed at you, and I can't find it now, but the question was, how would you feel if one of your students announced to you that they believed the Earth was flat?
How would I feel? I think I'd feel... Well, you know, they say it to me all the time because they know about my channel, so they say it for a laugh. But if I thought they actually meant it, I'd feel like I'd let them down a little bit. I think I'd feel gutted. I'd feel like I'd let them down a little bit.
Yeah.
But you know, I'd chat to them about it for sure.
Yeah, and try and put them right, obviously.
Yeah, I just ask them why. You know, why do you think that? You know, what is your understanding? And when they start talking about, you know, well, light should refract up all the time, or this should, you know, I think it wouldn't. Once you get to the reason why they believe that, it's not difficult to explain it.
No. And that question was from Jeremy V. I've just found it, so thanks, Jeremy. UKPI wants to know if you think that young people are still being duped by YouTube flat Earth nonsense.
Young people?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think the people that kind of fall into the flat Earth trap are people that have been out of education for a long time and maybe are looking for a community, looking for somebody to follow. Sort of. I think young kids are just more willing to point and laugh at stuff, aren't they? And you know, I don't think there's any kids who feel lost about the shape of the world around them. You know, I think as you get older, I think that's the point where that I've seen anyway. People tend to fall for it.
Yeah. Right. The next question is from Curtis Reynolds, and it's a super chat, $5 US. So thank you, Curtis. And he's asking if anybody knows what's happening with FE Core. I don't understand the reference. Is something going on that I'm not aware of, or?
I've no idea. The last I heard about FE Core, I've not really followed all that, was going back with Sly Sparkane and Reds Electric. Had they tried to take some videos down of them or something? Right. I'm not sure. So it's not something I've kept up with at all.
Yeah, because I know they threatened to sue Fight the Flat Earth, didn't they? That was the last thing I really heard about them. He received a solicitor's letter, didn't he?
Yeah. I think they gave him, was it 3 days? And one of the conditions was to take down your channel and never make another channel discussing flat Earth.
Yeah, it's a big ask, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a big ask.
He just ignored the hell out of that, didn't he? And nothing else.
And it went away. But it would have cost them more than it would have benefited them at the end of the day, wouldn't it? You know, lawyers aren't cheap, are they?
They're not, especially when it's a case you can't win.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Cy Allen, for becoming a channel member. Wheelie Slots is asking, what do we think of the whole Black Swan subject that's been described as the latest globe killer? Again, I'm not familiar.
I wasn't. I was on with Team Skeptic and Fight the Flat Earth on Wednesday, and they were, because I've really been out the loop for a bit, and they were explaining the Black Swan thing, the 2 oil rigs, and we went into that at quite some length. But essentially, it's a load of nonsense, absolute load of nonsense. Somebody's taken one photograph at one particular time of day, you know, and then any other photograph of those oil rigs that have been taken at other times of day with different atmospheric conditions show completely different, you know, it's like the Chicago skyline. You know, you might get that once. You're not going to get that all day, every day. So it's just, it's Nathan Oakley nonsense. He's always after something, you know. If it's not the curve calculator, it's diffraction. If it's not diffraction, it's compression or the angle of attack. If it's not that, now he's got these oil rigs. He's just looking for something he can chat about for a few weeks. Yeah, so it's just basically his focus at the moment then, and it's got no more credibility than anything he's ever said then. Yeah, it's just nonsense. Yeah. Casual Spaceman is asking you, would you go to space if you had the opportunity? And if yes, who would you like to share a spacecraft with for a day or two, other than family? Who would I like to share it with? I'd like to share it with a big internet flat earther. So I could film the look on their face when they saw the curve. That's, yes, absolutely. And you'd be there in person there to convince them on the spot that nobody was actually CGI-ing their live view from their own eyes, I suppose. Exactly. So yes, I would, and that's what I'd want to go with. Great question, that.
Tim Stam wants to know who does the voice for Baldy Catz.
It is me, funnily enough. Yeah, it is me.
Effie Around the World is asking, Baldy Catz, do you think Oakley and Co. would become globe promoters if the money was removed from Flat Earth videos?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, yeah. Yeah, if the money was removed from Flat Earth videos, they wouldn't make another Flat Earth video.
Isn't there an instance, sorry to interrupt you, of Nathan Oakley saying something along the lines of he doesn't care if the world is shaped like a dick as long as he can keep making videos and people will keep supporting him financially?
I have heard that, and I can't cite where that's from. I know he said to Clear Cognition, the ex-Flat Earther, when he was a Flat Earther, that, you know, he wasn't really into the Flat Earth. He was just making the videos for money. There's no way Nathan Oakley genuinely believes the Earth is flat. But that's the thing. People think he does, and they keep. I get it in my comments. They just recite his dumb arguments over again. You know, word for word, because Nathan said it. So I'm just going to say, you know, he's leading some people down a poor path.
Yeah, that's the thing, see, is you can generally tell. If I come across a small Flat Earth channel to make a video about, I can generally tell from listening to them who their favourite big Flat Earther is. Because they all sort of just repeat parrot fashion, don't they? You can tell if they're a Nathan Oakley fan or if they're a Bob Nodell fan, and it just shows in everything they say and do.
Yeah, it does. You're right. It's like a linear. You can trace it back. Yeah, you're absolutely spot
on. It's a strange world we live in. So nobody seems to like this question, which I think is why it's one of my favourites, and it does put you on the spot a little bit, but there we go. Give me an example of somebody you absolutely think is full of crap and they're just saying it for the money, and give me an example of somebody, in your opinion, who absolutely, in their heart of hearts, believes that they live on a flat plane.
Okay, well, you've got Nathan Oakley for the first one. And you know what? Controversial one, but for the second one, I am going to say Dell, because he doesn't monetize anything. And I know I think, you know, he enjoys the attention he gets and he enjoys the crowd, but I think that wouldn't be enough to keep going if he didn't genuinely believe it. But I think that's all he's got. All he's got is a belief. You know, he can't articulate why, scientifically why he thinks that. He can't articulate why Polaris isn't evidence of a globe, etc. You know, he doesn't like talk about that. But I think he does genuinely believe it.
Yeah. Because, you know, I'm sure you're right, and that there are some people that genuinely do believe it. But every time I come across somebody, you can just see by their whole demeanor, and, you know, they get this sort of occasional sort of half a smirk from one side of their mouth when they're speaking, and it just always leads me to think that, are they sincere? I think probably 99% of them just don't believe it. They're just saying it to be one of the gang or to make money or whatever else it may be.
Yeah, there's a lot of people playing devil's advocate with it.
Yeah, and all the infighting as well, you know. There's nothing, you know, like that on our side of the fence, generally speaking. I know there's the odd disagreement, but it's usually something nothing. But, you know, a lot of the time, the arguments they have amongst themselves are just as bad as the arguments they have with people from our side of the fence.
Yeah.
They all say they believe in flat Earth, but they all seem to believe in very specific versions of it.
Well, that's another thing that Flat Earth really suffers from, isn't it? People, you know, when people say Flat Earth, that to one person means something completely different to something else, to somebody else, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that should be ringing alarm bells for them. You know, the fact that they all can see the flaws in each other's model.
Yeah.
You know, they can all see the flaws in each other's idea. You know, it should be striking some alarm bells. And the ones who try and get around that, just point blank say, I don't know anything, right? I don't know. Don't ask me about how day and night happens because I don't know it. Don't ask me how the seasons happen because we don't know. Don't ask me, is there an edge, because we don't know. And then, you know, after saying we don't know, right? So you can't debunk their idea. They'll then say, but water's level, so it can't be a globe.
Yeah.
No, oh, so that's very, very, very good. Well done.
Yeah, and it's just... There we are. Graham Price is just saying Arwen. He thinks Arwen may be genuine as well. What do you think about him? Because he seems very, very up and down.
He does, doesn't he? He's got some out there beliefs as well.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, but I think the ones I really think are genuine are the ones who do have the smaller channels, like we said before, that aren't making money from it, that only have a handful of subscribers. The ones that do parrot the bigger flat earthers, I think they do genuinely believe it, but that's because they just believe in the YouTube hero at the time, you know, whoever they have following. You know, so they've got belief, that more faith in what somebody's saying, really.
Yeah. My new favourite thing at the minute is, and it's because I've heard flat earthers say that photographs of the earth are fake. I've heard them say that so many times. Why hasn't any flat earther ever thought to, not that they'd need to, obviously, but why aren't there any photographs of the earth as a flat plane from space? If it's that easy to fake images, and we do it all the time, and bizarrely, we now have the ability to do it in real time. With, you know, if you look at the photographs that come from the Himawari satellite, we can CGI in real time. So why? Surely there must be a flat earther somewhere that's a graphic designer or just talented at that sort of thing. Where are the photos from space of the flat Earth? And it seems like such a simple thing, and maybe that's why they've never thought of it and never addressed it.
It's a cracking point, though. You know, you'd think somebody somewhere would have at least, like I say, at least faked one. But if it was that easy to do, if it was that easy to pull them off, you know. But
yeah.
You know,
but that's the whole thing, isn't it? You know, yeah, certainly the technology's available, but some of the photos of the Earth that they say are fake were taken in the 70s. You know, what was the famous blue marble shot? Was that 72?
It was definitely, was that the Apollo 17 one?
Bloody hell, I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
I bet the casual spaceman would know if he was still here. But yeah, so there was no technology to fake that sort of thing then.
No,
do you know what I mean? But
there was no digital photography. Or...
No, exactly. It was just taken with a camera. Simple. There was no... Yeah, it was 1972, the casual spaceman says. Yay, I got something right. Go me. £5 and a penny, super chat, bizarre amount, but thank you, Hennas A. Red Pill Philosophy accuse YouTube of censoring comments. Is that a result of people reporting comments or YouTube monitoring, or is he a bad loser? What do you think?
Censoring comments. I don't know. I think I've heard him complain about people censoring his channel and thinking his channel has been shadow banned. But I think Red Pill Philosophy gained thousands and thousands of subscribers by posting one type of content, and then when he started making a completely different type of content with flat Earth, etc., nobody wanted to watch it, you know. And then he came out and said, "Oh well, you know, my channel's being shadow banned. I'm not getting the views anymore. It's censorship." But you know, it's like if I started making knitting tutorials on conspiracy cats now, I'm not going to get any views on it.
No,
you know,
your channel would take a massive nosedive because the algorithm attempts to put your videos in front of people that are already watching your type of videos, and that's one of the ways it works.
Exactly, and he took a massive U-turn, destroyed his own channel, and then moaned that YouTube was somehow censoring him. You know, like he had a right, just because he had a lot of subscribers, to put out any old dross, and people would watch it.
That's the thing, though. See, he's young enough, and he's of that age where he's got this air of entitlement.
Yeah.
And I think that's a problem with a lot of younger, you know, the younger people that create content online. They seem to think they're entitled to this viewership, and you know, why don't people watch me? It's, you know, if you were gonna turn on a sixpence with the type of content you make, you're going to lose viewers because they came, and that's what going back to what I said earlier about being reluctant to sprinkle in different types of content onto my channel, because people are here for what they subscribed for. So like you say, if you started making knitting videos now, everyone will get fit, and I'm sure there's one or two people that may enjoy it, but you know, because I've had people say to me, oh, you could make a video about how you make your cup of tea in the morning, and I would watch it. And it's like, no, you wouldn't though, would you? Because every time I put a video up that isn't quite on topic, it underperforms. So stop lying to me in my comment section, you bad bunch. Anyway, everyone, it's 9:20, so we have got approximately 10 minutes left, or it could be less if nothing happens. If anybody does have any final questions for Conspiracy Cats, then now's your last opportunity. Graham Taylor asks, how do flat earthers explain longitude and latitude on a flat earth?
Well, they don't, do they? It's as simple as that. They don't.
Damn, I could have answered that one myself.
Yeah. You know,
that's just another one of the holes in their argument, though, isn't it? It's nothing they say makes any sense to me, even with my limited scientific understanding. You know, I honestly don't think you need that much of a scientific understanding to be able to look at the evidence and understand the shape of the planet we live on.
No, it's not. I mean, one or two of the arguments are a little bit counterintuitive, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you said, why do planes flying west not get to their destination faster if the Earth is spinning west to east, you know? And it is counterintuitive, and I suppose the whole gas pressure next to a vacuum is a little bit counterintuitive. But even then, when it's explained to you, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to pick up the idea, you know. But some things are just so self-evident, you know, the star trails, two celestial poles, boats going over the horizon, you know, the predictions we can make of the solar system. You know, it's just, you know, the shadow of the Earth itself on the moon during an eclipse.
Yeah. It's having the ability to look, because you were saying about the gas pressure. It's taken me a long time to wrap my head around that. When I first heard, and I think it was you, I heard talking about it first of all, I had no clue what you were. I just couldn't grasp it. And then, was it one of your videos? I can't remember who said it, but when, you know, it's a gradient, a pressure gradient. And then I kind of had a light bulb moment where I could see, so it's next to space, but it's not the same as what's closer to Earth. Am I right in the way I've understood it? But what you mean by a gradient is it gets weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker until it's almost non-existent, but it's still there right next to the edge of space.
Yeah, and like, you know, you could see space as just being a continuation of that gradient, couldn't you? Or you could talk about water and it's obviously it's a slightly different it's not, but if you talk about the water pressure at the bottom of the ocean being absolutely enormous, and as you go up and up and up, there's a pressure gradient in the ocean till you get to the very, very top of the ocean, and then, you know, there's nothing there. You know, that's how fluids behave under gravity.
Do you know, you saying that now was just helped me a little bit more, because by flat earthers logic then, how is the sea, you know, where you get to the top of the sea, to the top of the surface of the water? Why isn't that a problem?
Yeah, because that water's at a higher pressure than the air above it, so why is it not jumping out? And some people say, well, it's something to do with density then, you know, but they'll not explain it. They'll just say the word density.
Density and buoyancy.
Yeah.
Another staple of the flat earth argument.
If you look at the equation for buoyancy, you know, essentially it's just a variation of force equals mass times acceleration. It includes acceleration due to gravity in it.
Yeah.
You know, so, but they won't they won't talk about that though.
It's what is it? I can never remember. I've memorized loads of sort of sayings, but I can never remember. And somebody said, "No amount of evidence can persuade an idiot."
Yeah.
Mark Twain.
But you're right, because that person has to be able to see the significance of what you're saying to understand the argument.
Yeah.
You know, and like if they're not capable of understanding basic trigonometry or willing to put the work in to learn it and understand the argument, then they're just not going to listen to it.
Yeah.
So,
and I think a big part of it is they have to want to they have to want to have their mind changed.
Yeah. Because it's so easy to just sit there and not put the effort in and then have that instant gratification of these ridiculous throwaway, you know, so like you might be a flat earther watching Nathan Thompson debate and he'll say second law of thermodynamics says the atmosphere's fake, and then you just carry that one sentence with you, not understanding what it means. And when somebody asks you about the atmosphere, you're just going to say second law of thermodynamics, it's a violation. And you've got no understanding what you're talking about, but you've got that instant gratification because you've got one little saying in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Super chat, $10 US dollars from Bruce D, asking, do we feel the madness is increasing or decreasing? It depends which side you're asking.
Well, yeah. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're getting worse?
Some of them are, yeah, because they seem to be getting more, I don't want to say aggressive, but maybe more aggressive in their pursuit of their belief. And, you know, they seem more and more willing to attack, to strengthen the following of their belief.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I could be wrong. But I'm definitely going slowly insane, video by video. Hen is a £2.22. He's liking the weird amounts, this guy, isn't he? Why don't atmospheric gases lay in layers?
It's a good question. Because, you know, you'd imagine that obviously the most dense ones would lie at the bottom towards the Earth, wouldn't you? And the least dense ones at the top. But essentially gases are fluids, aren't they? And the particles inside the gases aren't bonded to each other. And every particle in a gas, they don't have the same energy. Even at the same temperature, temperature is just a measure of like the average kinetic energy of the particles. But in any gas at any temperature, some will have a lot more energy than others. And there's an equation called the Boltzmann equation, which will actually tell you at a given temperature what gravitational potential energy a given particle will be able to have, or what fraction of those particles at a given temperature will be able to reach certain gravitational potential, certain heights. But essentially, to cut long story short, all the particles in a gas at the same temperature have different amount of energies, so they're going to mix. And obviously, then you add that to, you know, the way the atmosphere is stirred up by the sun heating the ground, constantly causing, you know, this sort of mix. So yeah, there you go.
Cool beans. Right then, good people. It's 29 minutes past 9 o'clock. So I think we've kept this young man gabbing for long enough. So thank you to everyone who's watched. Have you got anything that's coming up that you want to plug before we go, Catz?
Hell yeah, you know, I will do actually. Yeah, I will. You know, I've mentioned the educational channel a couple of times.
Yeah.
Well, I'm branching out to do away from flat Earth and away from that to be like a tutor, which I am at the minute anyway in the real world. But I'm branching into like online tutoring, where I can hopefully maybe like try and save people money. So keep an eye out for a video on my channel on Baldy Catz for tomorrow or Monday. I'm going to explain how people that want tutors for their kids or want tutors for themselves for GCSE science, how they might be able to use me to do that at a fraction of the cost that you get at home.
Cool beans.
Keep an eye out for that.
There we are. Right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, Conspiracy Cats / Baldy Catz, because you are, in fact, one in the same, even though people say they've never seen you together in a video. But I have it on very high authority that you are one in the same. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much to all the super chatters. Thank you to everyone who's become a channel member tonight. And as I said, if you are on Discord, don't forget to link your Discord account to your YouTube account, and you will be given access to the VIP chat room on my Discord server. If you do want to support the channel, and I'm not asking you to, but if you do choose to, there are multiple ways you can do so, and they're all linked down in the comment section, in the video description, sorry. And the links to both of the Catz channels are down there as well. I can add the other links, later on for you, Catz, because I didn't think of those channels if you want me to. So, yeah, cool beans. Right, thank you, everyone. And we're out there.
Bye-bye.
Really
enjoyed it.
Cheers, mate. Take care.